The cost of living is extremely high in San Diego.
Well, before the living wage, I worked 3 jobs.
I had no health care insurance.
So I was a preschool teacher, and I'm still a preschool teacher.
The reality is it's a struggle every day.
I also worked at Qualcomm Stadium as a concessionaire.
Health problems came up, and I didn't have coverage.
And at night, I did cleaning.
Eventually had to go through bankruptcy.
It seems like the harder you work, the farther you get behind.
We started CPI because we saw in San Diego an enormous and growing gap between a wealthy, prosperous region and hundreds of thousands of people who couldn't make ends meet.
Nearly 400,000 people live without health insurance in San Diego County. Most of them live in low or middle income households.
We have a right to ask for some things. If you want to build in our community, what are you going to put back into our community? What kind of jobs are you producing? Are you producing $8 an hour jobs with no benefits? Quite frankly, we don't need any more of those.
Having people live in Imperial and Temecula and Tijuana as opposed to living near their jobs has a significant environmental impact. It means that people are not driving or walking half a mile to work, they're driving 60 miles a day to work, or 100 miles a day.
My dream is to have a home of my own. Where I did live, they sold it and made it into condos. And now I'm a roommate because there is absolutely no way that I could afford on my salary and working one job to be able to go out and find a place. I've looked.
Como mi hija, por ejemplo, dejó de estudiar 2 años para ayudarnos a pagar este condominio, que lo vamos a tener que dejar porque no nos alcanza.
San Diego has a long history of being dominated by powerful interests, and in this setting, the poor, the working class people have been squeezed to the limit. Because of the work of this organization, there has been given a voice to the voiceless.
The Center on Policy Initiatives came along about 10 years ago and really changed the conversation on issues that are important to everyone in this community. The importance of living wage, clean neighborhoods, someone to speak up for working families and make sure that they're not forgotten in San Diego's rush towards a bigger economy and a more affluent community. CPI gives us some firepower when we're trying to institute fairer public policy.
The Center on Policy Initiatives does an excellent job of compiling data and doing research to help provide us with information about what the current state of affairs are in our community in terms of the lack of health coverage, the amount of people living below the poverty line. This information is very informative to someone like me who's a policymaker.
We have the information in working with CPI that's showing that our people are working downtown in the hotel industry. They are cleaning the floors, they're making the beds, but they don't have a livable place to live.
One thing that's been really helpful to the small business community in San Diego was CPI's report where they highlighted the underfunding issue of the city's services.
CPI is more than a think tank. It really is an action tank. It provides focused, solid research and then puts that research to work.
It's been a privilege to work with CPI on the living wage.
Tonight, the San Diego City Council passed a living wage increase for thousands of contracted employees.
This is really a victory for working families here in San Diego.
Since CPI got this living wage program going, been lucky enough to have health insurance and make $10 an hour, which has helped quite a bit.
Gracias a Dios logramos conseguir $12 la hora. Esta clase de beneficios pues ya tiene algo de bueno para todos los janitors.
CPI is the reason that San Diego saw its first community benefits agreement, and again bringing forward CPI's ability to bring together folks from many different perspectives into a common room to solve a bigger problem. If CPI didn't exist, we'd have to invent them. because CPI provides the common marketplace of ideas where you can make the link between the housing crisis and the health insurance crisis and its effect on both workers and our larger economy. And the kinds of research that CPI does brings all of those things together.
So we are going to watch every public decision that our local government makes so that we don't create one job that doesn't have health care coverage, and we don't create one job that doesn't provide for a family.
CPI helps give a voice to people who do not know that there's a voice out there for them.
We need in America people like CPI. Those are the people that are fighting for working class people.